All right, I want to build off what Nicole just shared here, going beyond the user. How do we go beyond research? Let's reimagine what a research leader is, and let's redefine what a research team can do. And to get there, I think these conversations are starting where we have to take a really close look at how we think about our roles and how we're showing up in them. Now, before I get there, you're probably like, who's this guy? I'm Sal. I'm a senior director at Instagram, and I've worked in a variety of industries and companies over the years, in product and design, in consulting. I started my research career in political research, which makes this year and time really interesting, but that's probably a separate talk. What I found over the years is when the research community gets together, there's a lot of power. And we get really excited to talk about our craft, right? Like the latest technology for data collection, new sampling strategies, new ways to socialize our insights. If we had that mini museum or that video immersion, that would change everything, right? And for me to get outside of the company, outside of Meta, it's a really rare and special treat. So I want to thank Julie and Colleen, everyone who organized this event to make space for us, and to all the speakers for sharing your ideas because you're helping us grow and learn together. So I want to talk craft for a little bit. Raise your hand if in the last month you have talked about, thought about, or given feedback to your team members about a research method. Any method. Yeah, I figured all the hands would be up after hearing earlier today at lunch. Wait, keep the hands up, keep the hands up. It doesn't matter if this was a rich ethnography or a diary study that's going across the market to size out some opportunities. Okay, now keep your hands up if your non-research executive stakeholders are also discussing and valuing the methods with you. Yeah, all D-Scouts. Our business is a method. But right, how do we address this growing divergence between what we as a research community value and spend our time on with where the business executives who aren't researchers are spending their time? And that's the crux of what I want to share with us today, which is how do we stop thinking about ourselves as research is the outcome? It's not. Research is that superpower that we have to change the outcomes. And what are those outcomes? What are the business impact that we're having? How do we get our mindset out of that beautiful report, that narrative, that video, that interpretive dance that we've got? That's not the outcome, right? But the true outcome is the business impact, the business change that we're making. So what's the brand of research at your company? I've been asking this question at Instagram and interviewing executives across Instagram, across Meta. What value do you see from research? What are those moments that research stands out to you in your mind where we've stood up in exceptional ways? And why do those moments stick with you? And then I'm talking to the research team and I'm hearing there's such demand and opportunity to have more influence across product, to have more impact across the organization. So if we're smart about this, we can address both these things. So what I'll share with you more today is about the business acumen investment that we're making at Instagram that elevates our research community to becoming more business leaders, and that closes the gap in our brand aspirations. Now I'll break it down into 3 phases. The first is deeply understanding the business. What are the economics of your industry? What are the revenue streams? What are the profit margins? Just as you go deep into your users, go deep into the business. In the next phase, it's about really understanding your organization's decision-making. Map out those influencers. Map out how decisions get made, and then find your persuasion points in whatever format or archetype that might take. And the last phase is more of a cultural shift that we as a research community need to start leading. Sounds like a lot of us are. It's around thinking about what outcomes and opportunities are we associated with. Shifting ourselves from often being associated with a function that highlights challenges or problems in the products, or maybe challenges in the product changes, and being more about opportunity generators. So let's go one level deeper. In the business acumen curriculum, there's a series of content that we want to make sure we're educating researchers on. And I think it's especially important to ask yourself, what are the metric goals of the business? What are the KPIs? If you can deeply understand and equip your research team members with that, then you're equipping them with the language to meet their stakeholders, right? What if our research roadmaps didn't just say what questions we will answer, but the hypothesized metrics that we will change with those answers? Would we change our research portfolio from that? What if we were able to think about our recommendations, not just what product should change, but what hypothesized sized out market data would we change in the metrics themselves? What if we included the operational and the financial value or cost that implementing your recommendations would take? Then the executives have a sense of the trade-offs, right? Oh, it will cost this amount of design and engineering to do that recommendation. Is it worth where they are today? On the next phase, this is about asking yourself, how does the organization make decisions? And everyone's organization is going to be different. We all have different cultures in our systems. Even at Meta, Instagram is very different than monetization. We all have different ways of doing it. And I don't mean just looking at what's written on paper and who's in the org chart. I mean looking closely at those unstated rules or undocumented ways that we work and finding those people in the organization. They might not show up on the org chart, but they are the people that the decision makers go to when they need information. What is it about them that is making them influential? And what can we learn? We've talked a bit today about adapting our communication. What matters to our stakeholders? How do we meet them where they are? Take those same skills we apply to empathy development for our users and put that back towards business executives. And finally, this is the larger cultural shift that I could see us as research leaders accomplishing. Recognizing that research is not the end-all be-all, but it is a superpower that we have, along with other levers and other experiences towards doing that. The other piece is being less associated about risk management and more about value creation, opportunity generation. What if we were seen as the function that's finding new revenue streams? Or a hot topic, what if our insights were revenue streams? We've done such a great job being champions for the people. We are so rooted in understanding the users, but have we lost sight that we all have roles that are investments from a larger organization? And at some point, they expect a return on that investment. And we have a really unique position to play here. This is our superpower. If we can marry the bridge between the user goals and the business goals, that's what unlocks the big opportunity that we have today. Thank you for having me and sharing a little bit more of how we're, thank you.